Dating strategies for men over 40. All right, we got to get some things out of the way first because the question that I get a lot is, George, what makes you qualified? So bear with me so you can hear this. All right, before you click off, let me say this, okay? And then if you want to leave after that, that's fine. All right. So, what makes me qualified? And I think so. First of all, is my personal philosophy, and I feel like we're all placed to be here together, to be with one another. Okay, and the things that I'm gonna talk about in this short video are things that I had to do to stay married. Okay. I've been successfully, happily married for 35 years. Okay. We got married in our early 20s. All right. And so these were the things that I had to do to stay married. Okay. Because it's not it's I do every day. Okay. And so I had to work on myself. So, and that meant therapy. It meant personal development. I do 3 or 4 books a month. Accountability. Okay, accountability. So, and then not only that, this is also what I do for a living. This is how I bring income into my household. So I am a therapist. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I own my own private practice. I work with couples and individuals. I've had formal training. All right. And so I'm not pulling out these strategies off of Chat GPT. Okay. Let's just say that. All right. And so let's talk about some dating strategies. Okay. So maybe you're re-entering into the dating market. You were married for, years and you recently went through a divorce or you went through a divorce. And so that's what brought you into the dating market. Okay. Also could be maybe you've just been single all this time. Okay. And now you're looking to be in a committed or monogamous relationship. Or maybe you're a widower. Okay. So I don't know what your situation is, but these are some things that could be helpful. Maybe so, maybe not. It's fine. Okay. So if you want to X off now, that's fine. Feel free to leave. All right. So, um, my number one point, I've just got a few points. So number one is you could be right or you could be happy. So one of the things that I realize is number one, arguing with people is not going to change their perspective. So choose the hills that you want to die on. All right. Don't look for perfection because there is no thing. So the same way you're not perfect, let's not look for perfection in our partners. The other thing I want to touch on just a little bit is what's your attachment style. So your attachment is the way you respond in relationships. Okay. So what's your attachment style? Is it, you're constantly thinking about the person and, oh, I text them, they didn't text me back. I called them, they didn't call me back. And that really kind of gets you anxious. Or maybe you're a person that, when the intimacy increases, maybe you're not comfortable with that. And that's when you exit the relationship. Okay. So understand what your attachment style is, I think is important here. And therapy can help you out with this. All right. So, another point is to be clear in your communication. Say what needs to be said. In order to say what needs to be said, you got to get in touch with what you feel. Now, oftentimes, for us men growing up, we weren't encouraged to feel. So feeling may not always be something that's comfortable for us, right? So feeling may be uncomfortable. Okay. So learn to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. So learn to be comfortable with your feelings because your feelings are the only way that you know what's going on, what's happening with you. Okay. So, Another point is to examine if there are other relationships, if you've been in other relationships, obviously they didn't work out for whatever reason. What were the reasons for those failed relationships? Okay. And sometimes, a therapist can be helpful in here. Here's why, because you know what? Sometimes it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. And it's hard to be transparent with yourself. It's hard to be non-biased towards yourself. Sometimes your friends, they understand what your intentions are. They understand what you meant to do, not what you did. So we judge other people on what they did. We judge ourselves on what our intentions are. We say things like, well, what I meant to say was, what I meant to communicate, what I meant to do was this. Okay. And so another point is that when you're in a relationship, so define the goals early, where you're going with this relationship. What are you seeing? Are you looking for, so what are you looking for? Okay. You looking for a long-term partner? Are you're looking for a situation that's going to result into marriage? So be transparent and be honest and be early and clear about what you feel and what you think the direction, what exactly are you looking for? Now, I know you may not know early on, like what direction you feel like the relationship is going to go in, but you understand what your intentions are in the relationship. Okay, so either your partner can get on board with it or they can choose to exit. All right. So another point is to improve your ability to handle stress and conflict with repair rather than withdrawing and reacting. Well, why is this important? Well, because chances are, if it's a woman that you're going to be dating, guess what? She may have kids, which brings, you know, children's fathers. And so, you may have, a variety of moving parts that you've got to deal with in this relationship. Okay. And so, and then another point is if you're dating online, try to meet that person as soon as possible. Because what tends to happen is when you're dating online, you tend to glamorize. There's like this fantasy glamorization about this person, and they're just so perfect because y'all FaceTime, um, for 30 minutes every day, and then y'all talk for 2 hours at night. But it's been months and you haven't met. Okay, so just because y'all can, you know, uh, talk online, it doesn't mean, and you can get along online, it doesn't mean that that's going to equate to when y'all meet in person. All right. So now, if you have standards for children, whether you want them to have children or don't want them to have children or want them to have, one child or two children, let them know, be clear about what the standards are. If you have appearance standards, it's okay. Women have appearance standards too. They say things like, well, I want a man that's 6 feet tall and that's dark and makes a six-figure income, right? So I think it's okay for us to have standards as well. So make a decision as early as you can about how far you can go with the relationship as early as possible. And try not to string women along into thinking that there's a potential about this relationship going further when really you don't really feel that way. Okay, so try to be upfront and clear early in a relationship. Okay. All right. I hope this was helpful. This is just a start. If there's something you want to see me elaborate on, put it in the comments. Hey, do share if you found this to be beneficial and subscribe. So I'll feel motivated to have more material, to create more material like this. Okay. All right. God bless.